Hello guys, welcome to another episode. Like, share, subscribe. Uh, Also engage us in the comments. So today we are talking about why designer brands are useless, and we look at how they've started, their market structure, and how they are going and they're trying to get and how they're acquiring new customers and their vision for the future. So when you look at designer brands, at the end of the day, it's as the word says, it's the last word, brand. It's they've marketed themselves into some kind of uh, a figure that when you see, you can, your brain associates itself with something, like say Louis Vuitton, Gucci. So when you see that brand, your brain associates it with luxury. And when you look at how designers started, the designers were very limited, very, very limited. Because if you go back to hundreds of years back, you find that designers were specifically made for royalties, kings and queens, their associates, their viceroys, their, you know, the, the- you know, the ambassadors, because you can even see that I was seeing a video of the shoes, the king of Sweden. He had his armor suit, and the shoe was made out of leather and metal, and the shoe could bend like a normal shoe. And that shoe was made in 1500. But if you put a 2022 shoe here and that shoe, you can easily say that the 1500 shoe even looks better than this. So that shows you that the fact that they were very limited, you know, it, it made sure that they were to be of high quality, because you needed to differentiate between a king and a normal person. So, when kingdoms ended, and then you come to the era of capitalism, especially in America, the 19th, 20th century, you start realizing that now this is when now you didn't need to become a king. If you had a good business, let's say like Rockefeller or Henry Ford, you could afford a designer, but even that time, they were very limited to to those people. It wasn't some kind of what you could find in one uh, wearing designer. And the fact that they were very limited, this made designers to be an aspiration. If something is very limited, it becomes an aspiration. And you find that because that time they focused more on quality, not on quantity. So you find that even how they were made to be purely because of quality, and because only a selected few could afford. But now you come to the 21st century, especially in the 2000s, uh, you start realizing that, because the population is growing, and now not only kings and queens and these business people can afford them, even the middle class can afford them. And now there was this shift into how designer brands are supposed uh, to change their market strategy, because they now realize that there was this group that could you know could also purchase the designer brand. And you come to the era of television, social media, and now they discover that they could market their products, and a lot of people could be glued in them, and they could also purchase the product. And I can give an example. I think there's a there's a documentary I saw a while back, some years back, of called Dundee. People of Congo. I think even Joy knows
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it. Yeah, of
yeah. I've seen it
of
before.
of of Dundee, and it shows that through design and marketing and this kind of, I'd say, some brainwash, uh, you, you found that people are even taking loans from their bank accounts to buy, because
Mm,
especially in the Congo area, you realize that they have this mindset that wearing fancy clothes and designer clothes, it's like the epitome of success. And if you wear designer clothes, you're treated very differently. And you see these people are living in low income areas, but when someone is going to a bank to take a loan to buy Western shoes, suits made from Tom Ford, and all this, and this impacts into the mindset that I was saying of media, and now these clothes being accessible to everyone. Because if you look at all these shows, even these olden movies. Like if you watch Game of Thrones, for example, there's this part that Arya Stark had when Ned Stark and the whole family split, and Arya Stark had ran away. He met some people, and the people looked at her clothes and they said, "Yo, your clothes look like of high quality. You are not a normal person,
Yeah,
but it's just, that shows that these clothes were not accessible. We couldn't find someone living in a slum being able to buy
Louis Vuitton.
Louis Vuitton. And now,
Yeah.
just because of capitalism, when it has now come, now the Louis Vuitton have discovered that people have become brand mindset, brand brainwash. That's why they now even find that even now people are starting to question the quality of these products, because these products are now being manufactured as Toyota cars, mass production and everything. But since it's now Louis Vuitton, you have no time to question, because I can give up an example. I used to have a polo belt. It was made out of leather, and then at my local country I bought and it's called a Maasai belt, from this tribe.
Yeah. I think
the polo belt was almost
I think I have a Maasai belt. Maybe I can show them.
Yeah.
Maybe I can show.
Yeah. The polo belt was almost $100, and then this other belt is $2. But you find that my polo belt.
So let me just
my polo belt was defaced even more faster, and they're both made of leather. But this belt, how long have you been wearing it?
I think I bought it maybe a year ago.
No, you don't have the other one for almost 5 years.
Oh, yeah, I think let me check. But you can keep telling them about the.
Yeah. So if you look at that, because mine hadn't even stayed it for 5 years, so it was like 2 years. But they're both leather. But the Maasai belt is made because the Maasai, if you know about Maasai Mara, you know that the tribe that lives there.
So I've stayed with this one for almost 8 years.
Yeah,
it's very soft. It's
real leather.
I've stayed with it for. This one is more firm. I've stayed this for less than 2 years. So these are both leather. If you would to burn them, they wouldn't burn. But this one is more soft because I've worn it for a long time. Yeah. So this one's, you got it for less than $3.
Yeah. And the polo belt was,
this is a whole belt.
Yeah. And the polo belt was almost $100. And if you look at these designers will tell you, the labor, the technique.
Yeah.
But this Maasai belt,
the same
this
same belt, Louis Vuitton, it's $1,000, and this is less than $2.
Yeah, and it's all the same. And if you was to ask them, why does it cost this much money, they will tell you it's the labor, the leather, the technique. But the Maasai belt that I'm telling you about, that if you know about Maasai, you can research Maasai Mara in Kenya. You can. This is their attire. This is like their normal attire. How they make this belt is that they kill a cow, remove the leather, treat the leather, and then make the leather
belt. Manufacture the belt.
Yeah. So and it becomes $3. So it goes through the same process as a Louis Vuitton. It's handmade. These belts are handmade, actually.
And they're handmade. And that belt is, I even prefer those types of belts than any other belt in Kenya, because first of all, it's complete leather. You can manipulate it. You can add holes if you want, and it wouldn't tear. Or the only thing it will happen, it will become softer as you wear it more.
And that's like the leather, and all leather do that.
Yeah.
But it won't.
It doesn't burn.
Yeah. And
even water doesn't affect it.
And if you look at all these brands, they try to, because there's a guy also on TikTok, but I think you can talk about that guy. He's a leather expert. I think he's been dealing with leather. So him is by designers, and then he tries to see how they've made it.
Let me just pull out his account. Let me just find his name so you can know who he is. Just give me a second.
and they try.
So this guy from TikTok, he buys he's a leather, like he's called Tana Leatherstein. I don't know if you know Tana Leatherstein from TikTok. So
and there are many
in one
others.
of his videos,
not only
and there are
him.
many others.
Yeah.
Yes, not only him, but he's the one we managed to find.
Yeah.
So Tana Leatherstein took a wallet and broke it into pieces. So this is the guy. So he took a Louis Vuitton leather belt, a leather
Probably
wallet.
you can show the name of the account on the through the phone.
Yeah, so you can see the name Tana Leatherstein. I don't know, the lighting is a bit
yeah.
So we will just put it in the description. We'll put his name in the description. So Tana Leatherstein is a guy who takes these designer brands, and he doesn't just buy them and takes them apart. He tries to investigate why they're costing that much, or why they're being, you know, like the wallet. He took it and rubbed out the finishing, and it came out very easily. The finishing came off easily, and he said the leather was low quality. And I think he said the wallet was around probably $1,000 or $500.
Yeah.
It was quite expensive, the wallet, but he said it would cost him $70 and leather worth around $10 to make the wallet. So he breaks down this designer brands and checks out the, especially leather products, and breaks them down and sees if they're really worth it. So when he calls customer care, they don't give him an accurate answer. They just tell him it's handmade.
They tell him the obvious thing that you're telling me, the belt. It's handmade. It's this.
Yeah, it's handmade.
And that's
it's this brand. What Louis Vuitton and these designer brands have done very well is create a brand that makes you believe that if you wear their brand, you're going to be recognized. You know, at least something like iPhone, even if iPhone is not the most powerful phone, you know, iPhone is more of a tool that you can use every day. That is actually iPhone is more of a tool. It's not a fashion statement. But the fact that
also iPhone can compete with other phones, even if they're much better. Still, it's
iPhone can still compete. Yeah. iPhone is still a very good phone.
Yeah.
And if you look at the Louis Vuitton, the quality has gone down because they have to mass produce. And you know, now you know, most people are coming out saying most of these brands are targeted towards the poor. It's the poor who buy the most because they want to be the middle class, yes. And also they want to be identified as people who afford. You know, the rise of social media, like you said, it's making people want to show others that I'm in luxury. But you know, spending $5,000 on like 2 items of clothing, it doesn't make sense. You know, even rich people are coming out to say, you know, I would never buy designer clothes or expensive jewelry and things like that because it's not worth it. You have those things, you know, according to them, they have those things and they feel like it's just the same as anything else. You know, there's this guy, he bought a Goyard bag that he didn't use a lot of times. So, you know, Goyard is one of the higher, you know, one of the most coveted brands. You know, if you're wearing Goyard, you know, and this thing, rappers glorify these brands, making people buy them. You know, I think they're benefiting directly. But this guy bought a Goyard bag, I don't know, was it probably $2,000, $3,000? And he didn't use it that much. I think it was his wife's bag. And then the wife noticed that it's removing dye. When she wore it on the shoulder, it was like leaving stains of dye because of the handle. The handle was black. It was supposed to be leather. Leather doesn't leave dye when you, like these belts I have, they don't leave any color on my clothes. So when they reported it, they were told that if the policy of Goyard saw that the dye did not affect, it was some kind of policy that said if the dye did not come off as Goyard expects it to, they'll have to pay for shipping. The couple who took the bag to Goyard to be fixed have to pay for shipping and all those costs. So even these people, when you try to ask them what's wrong, they have a huge you know, they have like a policy that they put that so that you can't take them or
there's no accountability.
Their brand. Yeah, there's no accountability to anyone. So it's like you've bought and that's it. And you know, if you're buying something that can get spoiled very quickly, or you know, if you're buying something for $1,000, you want it to last even 10, 15 years, because it's expensive. You know, a leather belt and a leather wallet, it's very expensive.
And you know, I feel like this race to, you know, to feed the demand for design. People want designer, so designer bags now have reduced their quality checks and quality just to feed the hunger. You know, and you know, the fact that
to feed the demand.
Yeah, and you know, the fact that now not only rich people want this thing, even the middle class, and the middle class are a majority. They are making it out of mass production, and they know that, you know, because the leather guy was saying, you know, there's another bag we also bought, another leather bag, and he said it was more plastic than leather, you know. So
it is actually very plastic.
Yeah, very plastic, and that bag I think was in $3,000, $5,000, something like that. So what the designers know is that, you know, you are so fixated into believing that, you know, because to me, if you ask me between a person who believes in this designer and a person who believes that, you know, like let's say the situation in America of gun control, you know, a person who believes that people having guns is not an issue, and a person who still believes in designers, the mindset is almost the same. Because if you ask a person why they don't want gun control, they'll tell you because guns are not the issue yet. You know, children can access guns and go to school and do what. And if you ask a person why do you believe in designer, even though there's evidence that's showing you that these brands
people
are not
will
worthy.
still be like, no, this brand is legit. If I have this brand, I'll rule. And
the main reason also people are buying this designer is to show off. So, you know,
to show actually that's and if you think about it,
because if you're rich, you don't
can
need to
talk about we can talk about rappers. You know, rappers are people who are flashy because they need to be flashy because they're entertainers. And you know, they've made it into a culture or a cult where let me just use the word culture, where in their raps, designer bags, designer clothes, private jets, you know, luxury cars, it's now a thing. You know, you might even find some of these luxury things they're promoting, they're not even that good. You know, even if they can afford them, you know, it's not, it doesn't mean that it's good. Maybe even they themselves probably complain, but they need to buy this luxury brand so that it can be relevant. And you find that most, you know, the richest people in the world, they're asked, even some of them on TikTok, they're asked, you know,
how much
is your attire? They say $20 shirt, $20 jeans, $20 shoes, $20 watch. And they, you know, it's not an investment to buy a designer brand, because apparently you're seeing right now, if you buy a designer brand, it's going to wear and tear. And if it's wear and tears, you can't sell it to someone else. But you know, if you have a well-preserved leather belt, you can probably even give it to your child. And it's because it's quality. And right now the world is going for look at me now, rather than quality and reality and you know, waking up. Because and if you think about it, like when we were talking about Instagram in our last video, and it's mostly flashy, the flashy lifestyle people, you know, people who want to be seen. We remember Hush Puppy was always, he's even got cakes and you know, I don't know why people feel like they need to show off something that wears and tears. And I think it's just creating a culture of highlights, a highlight-based culture where everyone is living okay. You know, it doesn't matter.
And you know, it's very interesting that designers used to be like Rolls Royce, but now they're like Toyotas. You know, they're manufactured left, right, and center. You know,
but I believe for the you know, I think designers also have an exclusive selection for the richest.
Yeah, they have.
You know, I think for someone like Kanye West, or Ye, as it's called right now, I think for him, when he goes to buy designer brands, I don't think he gets the commercial, you know, there's that mainstream brands where you can just
but I've
buy
also
from the
seen
shop.
how Mayweather dresses. Mayweather dresses some of the most exclusive attire, and some of them are bullshit. No offense. They are the worst things you can see. You know, they look. You know,
I think at that level, it's just about, I think they make deals with those people. Probably.
Because
or they're
we
told
can argue
that if you wear this, you'll
but even if you
relevant.
look at Kanye West attire, it's not the best attire. You know, if you're dressing,
it's not. I think no more t-shirt
Normal
and
is
jeans
good.
and
No,
khaki and shirt.
normal is the best.
Normal is good.
Yeah.
Normal makes sense because
Yeah.
normal you can interact with someone on. I don't know if you've seen those shoes. Kanye West's daughter wore. They're these shoes. I don't know what they're called. They were very
Balenciaga.
large.
Yeah.
I think
She
they're
was even
Balenciaga.
tripping. She was even tripping.
For me, for me, I don't know why people need to look like that. Maybe that's an industry that we don't understand us as normal people.
And it's funny thing that it was associated with rappers and all these flashy guys, but now it's like everyone.
Yeah. I think rappers are the ones who are making people believe that these things. Even so, it was Quavo who fell with those shoes. No, not Quavo, Offset.
Yeah.
And because you listen to their music and everything, you find yourself you're going to look at how much this costs. You find it costs a very ugly piece of shoe. Okay, I believe it's art. Yes, art is if you're used to normal attire, you'll find them ugly, but art has its own interpretations. But to some degree, the commercial clothes, like the normal, Louis Vuitton also sells normal clothes, normal jackets, normal jeans. I think the fact that they're promoting those brands as luxury but poor quality, it's not fair to the average person.
Because now they're trying to say the luxury is the brand, not the product.
Yeah, it's not the product, it's the brand. So even if they made a plastic shoes that were, like those, there's shoes you like wearing from Bata.
Yeah.
In Kenya, we have a shoe designer called Bata. They make plastic stuff. If they made it completely plastic and they call it Louis Vuitton and told you this shoe is now a luxury, but the quality is completely, completely useless. You can't go with that shoe.
Yeah, and the one thing, if you come to a country like Kenya and you wear even a Louis Vuitton bag, I kid you not, nobody's going to notice that. You have to tell someone that this bag costed 5,000 dollars. Nobody's even going to care.
In Kenya, there's so many, even when someone touches it, they're going to feel it's a knockoff because Kenya has better leather products.
Yeah.
We saw Sandstorm and brands like that in Kenya.
And
you didn't even believe because it would seem fake because we also have fake Louis Vuitton here and you can't tell the difference.
And a country like Ethiopia is has a leather production. You remember even the leather jackets that I used to have now because of riding and stuff. Most of them were coming from Ethiopia, and one jacket can go from $130 to $150, but it's good quality and it's worth it because
long lasting.
Yeah, I've won one of the jackets. I've had it almost 9 years, but it's it's. If that jacket was a Louis Vuitton, I feel like the fact that if they could have added that LV, it could have changed the price of that jacket.
Could have changed the price, even if you just put like a tag at the back of the back of the jacket.
Yeah.
And I think where we're heading in society is where people want to show that they've made it. There's that need to, especially with the rise of Instagram and the way Instagram is being used nowadays. People are really want to show others that finally I've reached the level where I can afford a designer brand, but it's not the right message. Whatever, if they were quality, I would understand, but we've seen that the same material is the same. If Louis Vuitton invented their own leather that was completely unique, I would understand. Yeah, for sure. You've invented leather that's completely unique. You can charge $3,000 for your product. But if it's the same cow, if it's the same animal that anyone else can, get leather from, some people might say that some leather comes from unique animals or well-bred animals. I don't think there's that much difference from leather from a Kenyan cow and leather from an American cow. I don't think the leather quality is that differentiated. And if you think about it, a brand like Rolls-Royce, a car that's supposed to last years and years, decades, the leather they use, I'm sure it's very high quality, because that's something that is used every day. Someone will be using it every day. But why is Louis Vuitton, bringing down?
It's not even Louis Vuitton. All these brands, even Gucci,
Chanel.
Okay,
let me just say, let me not mention Louis Vuitton. Let me just say all the designer brands.
Yeah,
they are cutting down on cost so much. If our wallet costs $10, they take it down to $2.
And you remember that video also on TikTok where that person called the Chinese factory that makes I think it was Ray-Bans or something.
He was
And the
he
price
was cutting. Yeah, he was breaking down. This thing cost $10 to make, but it sold at 1,000 because of the brand.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think there are so many other brands we don't know that are very high quality. And I wish sorry, I wish I wish people would start sharing, even if you make leather, even if you're a leather craftsman, or you can make shades, you can make these things that are high quality. You don't have to think about just the designer brands. Because there are other people out there who are good at designing stuff, apparel. Yeah.
And I feel like if I'm going for high quality, and probably I'd go for someone who's upcoming, because for him,
it's more of an underdog.
Yeah, and also the input of his work, it will be 100% in the project, and the fact is he doesn't have many customers. Most of the work will be done under his supervision, so the products will come out quality. But now when these brands hit top level and they get so much customer, they now go to full manufacturing. They become like a soda company or a Toyota. Where they have to meet deadlines.
And there's a video I watched of a man. He makes knives. So he's a guy who works in the mortuary. I think he works with very sharp knives, to do autopsy and all those kind of things. So he decided to start making knives. And his knives are, he uses the best material. He doesn't make many knives. That knife business is just a side hustle, so it gives him around $60,000 a year. He doesn't make knives for commercial or mass production. He makes it for specific chefs. And if you look at the quality of his knives, like, he makes them with passion. Even if it's not giving him a lot of money, he's making the knives with passion. And sometimes people order very specific knives, very specific materials, but those knives can last. I think he's talking about they last very long, because the material is very expensive. This type of hard metals, these alloys and all those things. So like you said, if you give someone to make you a leather jacket who's upcoming, and obviously you'd pay the $2,000, $3,000, yes. But that leather jacket you'd never forget.
You're assured it's quality. The person will take his time.
It's like an investment. The person will take his time. It's like an investment. So you really feel proud.
Yeah,
and I think luxury brands are being promoted heavily by the socialites and media.
And also it's like painting.
Media.
It's like painting. Imagine people who buy painting, if they were buying paintings that are made mass production. Will it be worth it?
Yeah. Would it be really worth it?
With paintings like Picasso, someone who makes one painting at a time.
Yeah, and I think also this promoting this social media following me, and having a lot of followers and influencers and all these types of things. I think that they're just selling for the money and for the endorsements, because at the point where we've reached, people are just selling stuff because people need money, yes, but right now you can't even know which brand to trust. Because when someone promotes a brand, you want to trust that person, but when you start using it.
Yeah. There's a time I was talking to one of my friends a while back, some years back, and she was telling me that her sister works in Dubai, and she has all the designer brands in like handbags and everything. And then she was asking her, why haven't you just want these ones? And the girl told her, like, when you buy these things, you realize they're not worth, you realize this, probably when you're
spending. It's like
not a life-changing event.
It's like when you crave, let's say you have a sweet tooth, and you want to eat expensive candy that you've never eaten, and then once you bite the whole pack and then you eat like 20 of them, you realize it's just sugar.
Even you feel that
just sugar,
you don't want any more
nothing
sugar.
Unique.
Your
tongue gets too much of sugar, and you're like, this thing, it's just a once in a lifetime type of thing, know. And I think that's what luxury brands are. I think it's good you buy, but once you buy, you'll realize, like, because me I like learning from people. So I think even if I was to buy, I would just realize it doesn't change my life.
And I also, another example, I was seeing Mayweather bodyguard talking about, he was being asked, how does he view designer brands? He said, unless you have crazy money, you know, like a billion or a multi-millionaire like a guy like Mayweather,
yeah.
that's when to him he can say, okay, weird. But to him, he said it's a waste of money and a waste of time. And you know, this is a guy who was still with some of the richest, but was saying unless you're that level, you know, where that
Yeah.
$5,000 like it's no brainer. You don't, you know, yeah. But if you're in the level of a come up, and this is where you are, because you know, you know, like a guy like Mayweather doesn't think of clothes budget. They're not in his mind anymore. So him, he can afford to, you know, to buy these clothes because he dines probably with the CEO of Louis Vuitton and all these companies. Yeah, and this was his bodyguard, you know, and he was saying unless you're in that level, that's when you should. But if you're not, to him, it was sounding like it's not necessary. Yeah,
yeah, and most guys,
and he was talking from a perspective because probably he's seen the clothes how they get torn, they get stains. You know, they are not high quality. Yeah,
it's just like normal clothes. You
yeah,
put them in a washing machine, they get stains and everything.
yeah.
And I think if you look about it, people, sorry, I like how TikTok is bringing things to light that people never thought about, you know. And I think glorifying something that just cause you know, glorifying something that's not as quality just because it's a brand, you know, that shows that it kind of shows that someone is not it's kind of shallow to glorify something that's not as quality just because may believe even if I wore a Louis Vuitton jacket today, I don't think anyone would care. I think people just want people to be normal.
And it also
and
shows
I think norm is
and it also shows that humans, we have a hard mentality mindset. We don't question things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't question things. It's just a follow.
We are not a logical kind of thinking. You know, most people are like, you know, because I'm sure even we might even get backlash from this video because people are not thinking. Most people won't look at it logically. They'll look at it emotionally. You know, nobody will look like yeah.
Especially if you really want to buy those brands. The point is you buy, but I think you're going to realize it's not really worth it. You'd rather have bought you know, something from an individual. You know, if it's an individual, it makes sense because an individual will make a better product than a big company.
Yeah, and I tell people like, make sure your brain is Louis Vuitton. You know, you've made your brain to be the designer. You know, the designer product. You know, don't make people to respect you because you have Louis Vuitton. Make
because
people to
of
respect what is in your mind. You know,
what is in your
because if you're choosing acceptance from invest in your brain.
The modern world we live in, it matters what you can bring to the table in terms of the ideas you have, the reasoning you have, the problem solving skills you have.
Set.
No one is going to give you a job because you have a designer brand. In fact, people are going to think you're shallow if you want to be superior over people because you have a designer brand. It's really shallow. People want to hear how you think. People prefer you contributing in an intellectual way rather than in a materialistic kind of way. But I think with social media, especially you know, Instagram is always going to be the culprit because that's where you see all these things, people showing off and all these things. And I think if you're doing it for social media, it's well and good. Maybe you want to be an influencer, but these brands, I don't think they're worth it. For me, I don't think they're worth it. The fact I can buy $2.50 belt and it can last me 8 years in Kenya, and you know, it's real leather, everything, it's perfect. Even those guys walk around, you know, the Maasais, they walk everywhere with those belts and sandals, and I don't think I'd feel it necessary to buy. You know, even in Kenya, we have those brands where they sell a bag for 30,000, you know, $300, $400, which is okay, but I still feel even their price in Kenya, it's too expensive. I would rather just buy or ask a Maasai to make me a bag because I'm sure they can do it.
And you know, I also think this TikTok of this woman showing people how she has this Louis Vuitton bag and she was like making it not to fade. So she was spraying it with something. If I get that video, I can show it.
Like some kind of wax or something.
But I was asking, is it how low have we have we become that, if I'm buying a product, why am I taking it care like a baby? Now I'm a slave to this product. Yeah, because
Yeah,
now
exactly.
I
Yeah.
bought it for so much money and I don't want it to give back. So I have to keep on taking it, even if it scratches, I'm worried. Nah, come on, guys.
Yeah. That kind of care, you give that kind of care
And now you feel that you're in a
a
better
car.
position, or you're cooler because you have a brand that, even if it touches the dirt,
Yeah.
you have to be concerned.
When it rains, you're
Yeah.
concerned.
Yeah.
When you're in a crowd, you're concerned.
Yeah.
You're always worried. You can't even live life because you have to take care of this egg that you bought,
And
and
that's
you
why,
want it to last for 5 to 10 years.
and that's why that what the bodyguard was saying, if you're in that high level, that's when these products won't, because you won't feel the need to take you. They'll be like normal clothes to you. If it gets torn, you can buy another one tomorrow. But if you're a middle class or middle class upper, these are not, because I was seeing just going back from the woman I was seeing in TikTok, she really takes care of them. Even when she's spraying, she's using the gloves. Hey, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. Trust me.
It's not that serious.
It's not that
It's not that
serious.
serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we can leave it
So
there.
can end there. Yeah. So thank you guys. Please like, share, subscribe. Till next time.
Yeah. Cheers, guys.